Look, man, in South Africa, we always have a conversation whereby it seems like we are not honest when we have it. We always like to say, South Africa is one of the richest countries in Africa, but we never talk about the fact that South Africa might be also in one of the most poorest countries in Africa. When you check the pictures of South Africa, how it's marketed, how it's promoted to the world, it's always about the fancy places. It's never about the city, the decay of the city, whether CBD. It's never about they show you a side of Soweto, a side of Alexandra, a side of Deep Sloot, a side of Kwatema, Vosloorus, a side of South Africa where our people are staying. Because majority, even we see it with the people who come and visit South Africa as international tourists. People maybe they come from USA. You see like Pastor Rhymes. Pastor Rhymes was in South Africa. He was given a tour in South Africa, but they never took him to Alexandra. They never took him to Tembisa, where he can really see where our people are staying. Because let's be honest, South Africa is the richest country in Africa because of white people. It's not because of us black people. And this is not me undermining our capabilities as black people. This is just me being honest. South Africa is known to be the richest country because there is majority white people who have a lot of wealth and own a lot of land in South Africa and own a lot of businesses, own a lot of malls. So our richness conversation in South Africa is always based on the fact that white people invested in South Africa. It's never about, hey, there's a bunch of black South Africans who are rich. No, would be lying if we say that. The ones who are rich are there. Congratulations to them for making out of the system and doing their things legally. I hope SARS doesn't go to them and harass them like we are seeing now with our most popular, famous people. SARS is always against them, whether it's justifiable or not. But we do have rich blacks, but they are not in majority. And the ones who are rich blacks, they always don't seem to represent the regular black person in the ground, like someone who comes from Tembisa, someone who comes from Ekasi, where there is nothing, like Alexandra. So people never get to talk about South Africa in that context. Like, yeah, South Africa, there's Alexandra. This is Alexandra, and there's Sandton. So don't just show us Sandton. Show us even Alexandra. Show us Deep Sloot. Show us Deep Sloot. Let's see, like South Africa. Because last time I checked, it was estimated that if you add people who stay in Tembisa and people who stay in Soweto, it makes the majority of South Africa as population. Just people who are based in Tembisa and people who are in Soweto. I don't know how true that is. But imagine if Tembisa and Soweto can have so many people, like maybe close to half of the population of South Africa. Shouldn't we base the conversation about South Africa in that context? As in like, that's Tembisa, that's where majority people are. That's Soweto, that's where majority people are. How is the state of Soweto? How is the crime in Soweto? How is the health in Soweto? How is the living conditions in Soweto? Shouldn't it be like that? Why should we say many of our people are in the squatter camps, they're living in back rooms, but South Africa, let's talk about Sandton as South Africa. Let's talk about Cape Town. People who come to South Africa, they're always going to Cape Town. And somehow they are made to believe that Cape Town is the real South Africa. But they are never taken to the places in Northern Cape where Xhosa people are living in a shithole. They are never taken there. They're always taken to Cape Town, Table Mountain, where it's nice, where they don't even get to see majority black people. All they see is white people. And they conclude, yeah, Cape Town is the one. They come to Joburg, they go to Sandhurst, they go to Rosebank, they go to Houghton, they go to these nice places, Sandton, and somehow they don't get to see the real South Africa where majority of us come from. They don't get to see it. They don't go to CBD, Hillbrow, and see the real South Africa and see the real population of the people, and see the flats and the conditions, and really talk about that side of South Africa, would you say that South Africa is rich based on the context of looking at Hillbrow, of looking at Joburg CBD, of looking at Soweto, people renting back doors, people renting in Mekuku? I'm not saying there isn't nice houses, people have made it out in Soweto. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying majority people haven't made it out. Majority families, Klalabantu in 1 yard, more than 20 people, some yards. Abanye wa rentile, bahlala abantwana babo emekhukhwini, squatter camps. It's like Guhlangene. Alexandra, why don't we speak about that and say, even this is South Africa? Is South Africa still rich if we look at Alexandra? Is South Africa still the biggest country if we look at Alexandra, what's happening? Is South Africa still the most rich? Or South Africa should also be added in the list of the most poor countries in Africa? Because it can be justified. It can be justified, and justified from something you and I can easily prove, whereby we go to the hood and see the living conditions of our people, and speak honesty about it, and be honest and confront the honesty for what it is, and not lie to anyone. Because what will this make us as a generation, for us not to be honest about the living conditions of our people, and lie and go to the internet and lie to people because somehow we want to come across as the best country? Hey, us are the best country. Hey, Zimbabwe is the worst country. When you guys are saying the best country, you're comparing South Africa to Zimbabwe or maybe Nigeria. You guys are always taking the best parts of South Africa. You're taking pictures in Sandhurst. You're taking pictures in Sandton. And then you are taking them, comparing to the pictures of Nigeria, of the Alexandra of Nigeria. How can you compare South African Sandton to Alexandra in Nigeria? And then you say, our country is the best. Compare our country in Alexandra to the Alexandra of Nigeria, and compare our country in Sandton to the Sandton of Nigeria. Don't take pictures of Zimbabwe where it's a shithole and you want to compare it with Sandton. You want to compare it with this place here in Cape Town, and say you're comparing Cape Town to the Alexandra of Zimbabwe. Compare Alexandra to Alexandra. Simple. And we're gonna see the real conversation, because like you guys are lying about it, and you're lying to the world. You're taking horrible pictures of Zimbabwe, of Nigeria, people where they stay in shithole in Nigeria, and you're comparing it to our country where people are staying a Rosebank, a waterfall. Why you don't compare a shithole in South Africa to a shithole in Kada? So we can be fair. But it is what it is. Thank you very much.